Most people think they're stuck financially because they don't make enough money. But what if the real problem is something far more invisible? Something quietly running in the background of every decision you make, every purchase, every impulse, every moment you check your account and feel that familiar tightness in your chest. What if the trap isn't out there, in the economy, in your salary, in your circumstances? What if the trap is in here? Because the truth is, and this is something most financial content will never tell you, many people never escape financial stress. Not because they're lazy, not because they're careless, not because they don't try hard enough, but because they are operating inside a system their brain was simply never designed to handle. And until you understand that system, you will keep working harder, earning more, spending more, and feeling exactly the same. Modern life creates a very convincing feeling that you are moving forward. You work harder than you did last year. You earn a little more, you upgrade your lifestyle. Slightly better apartment, slightly newer phone, slightly more comfortable routine. And on the surface, everything looks like progress. But despite all of it, despite the raises, the promotions, the upgrades, something doesn't change. You still feel financially anxious. You still check your bank account more than you'd like to admit. You still count the days until payday. You still live with the quiet, persistent fear that one unexpected expense, a medical bill, a car repair, or a broken appliance, could throw everything off balance. And here is what makes this so disorienting. You are doing everything right. You are showing up. You are working. You are trying. And yet, the feeling of financial insecurity follows you like a shadow. Psychologists have a name for what's happening. It's called the hedonic treadmill. The idea is simple and devastating. As your circumstances improve, your expectations rise at the exact same rate. The comfort you worked so hard to achieve becomes the new normal almost immediately. And the brain, always searching, always unsatisfied, begins looking for the next level. You are not ungrateful. You are not weak. You are human. And your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. The problem is that it was built for a world that no longer exists. And slowly, so slowly you barely notice, financial stress stops feeling like an emergency. It starts feeling like just the way things are. It becomes background noise. It becomes normal. And that normalization, that quiet acceptance of chronic financial anxiety, is where the real trap begins. So, if the trap isn't low income, what is it? The hidden trap is constant financial stimulation. Every single day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, your brain is being targeted. Targeted by advertising engineered by some of the most sophisticated psychological research in human history. Targeted by social media algorithms designed specifically to trigger comparison, desire, and inadequacy. Targeted by entire economic systems built around one single goal, making it as easy as possible for you to spend money. One-click purchases, buy now, pay later, subscriptions that auto-renew before you remember to cancel, flash sales that expire in 11 minutes, personalized ads that seem to know what you want before you do. None of this is accidental. Every single element of the modern consumer experience has been deliberately engineered to bypass your rational mind and speak directly to your impulses. And here is the uncomfortable truth about those impulses. Your brain loves them. Because the human mind is not wired for long-term financial stability. It is wired for short-term survival, for immediate reward, for the dopamine hit of getting something now rather than waiting for something better later. This is not a character flaw. This is neuroscience. The part of your brain that processes financial decisions is the same part that processes hunger, fear, and social belonging. It is ancient, powerful, and remarkably easy to manipulate. And the modern economy knows this better than you do. So when you wonder why, despite your best intentions, you still overspend, still impulse buy, still feel like money disappears faster than it arrives, the answer is not that you lack discipline. The answer is that you are an ancient brain living in a world specifically designed to exploit it. And then came social media, and it made everything significantly worse. For most of human history, people compared themselves to their immediate social circle, their neighbors, their colleagues, their family, a manageable group of real people living real lives with real limitations. Social media changed the comparison pool overnight. Suddenly, you are not measuring yourself against 50 people you actually know. You are measuring yourself against thousands, sometimes millions of curated, filtered, carefully constructed versions of other people's lives. Expensive vacations photographed at the perfect angle. Luxury apartments staged for maximum envy. Designer clothes worn once for a photo and never again. Bodies sculpted by personal trainers and lighting. Businesses presented as effortless successes that hide years of struggle and debt. And the human brain, which was never designed for this level of social comparison, cannot process the difference between what is real and what is performance. It just sees, they have more, I have less. I am behind. And that feeling of being behind, that persistent low-grade sense of financial inadequacy, drives behavior, real expensive behavior. People buy things not because they need them, not even because they truly want them, but because purchasing something, anything, temporarily closes the gap between where they are and where they feel they should be. It is not shopping, it is self-medication. It is the brain trying to resolve a social pain signal with the only tool the modern world has made instantly available, spending money. And every time it works, even briefly, the pattern gets stronger. The habit deepens, the trap tightens. This is why, and I want you to really sit with this, this is why more money often does not solve the problem. Because when income increases, the trap doesn't disappear, it expands. A higher salary becomes a bigger apartment. A bigger apartment requires better furniture. Better furniture means a nicer neighborhood. A nicer neighborhood comes with higher expectations for the car you drive, the restaurants you visit, the clothes you wear, the vacations you take. Each upgrade feels earned. Each upgrade feels reasonable. And each upgrade quietly raises the floor of what your life now requires just to feel normal. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation, the relentless human ability to absorb improvement and immediately recalibrate to wanting more. It is one of the most well-documented phenomena in behavioral economics and one of the most expensive. Research consistently shows that people dramatically overestimate how much happier they will be once they earn more money. They imagine the relief, the freedom, the security, and then they get there. And after a few weeks, sometimes less, the relief fades, the anxiety returns, and the finish line has moved again, just far enough ahead to remain permanently out of reach. This is not pessimism. This is not a reason to stop working toward financial improvement. It is simply the truth about how the human mind processes wealth, and understanding it is the first and most important step toward actually escaping the trap. Because you cannot solve a psychological problem with a financial solution alone. So, how do you actually escape? It starts with one thing: awareness. Real, honest, uncomfortable awareness. Not the kind of awareness that comes from reading a motivational quote, the kind that comes from sitting quietly with your own patterns and asking hard questions. When did I last buy something I didn't need? What was I feeling in that moment? What was I actually trying to fix? Because financial freedom, real financial freedom, is not primarily about making more money. It is about developing the ability to pause between the impulse and the action, to create a space, however small, between the trigger and the response. That space is where everything changes. In that space, you can ask, is this a genuine need or an emotional reaction? Is this spending aligned with what I actually value, or is it a response to comparison, stress, or the engineered desire created by an ad I saw 20 minutes ago? Breaking the cycle also requires something most financial advice completely ignores: redefining what enough looks like for you, specifically, personally, deliberately, rather than accepting the version of enough that the consumer economy has assigned to your income bracket. Because the system will always tell you that you need slightly more than you have. That is the system's entire purpose. And if you never consciously decide what enough means to you, the system will decide for you, and its answer will always be, not yet. Awareness is not passive. It is the most active, most demanding, most powerful financial skill that exists. And it costs nothing. Most people spend years, sometimes their entire lives, trying to fix their finances from the outside. More income, better job, smarter investments, stricter budgets. And all of those things matter. All of them have a place. But none of them work at their full potential until you address what is happening on the inside. The fear that money is never safe, learned in a childhood you didn't choose. The impulses engineered by systems far more sophisticated than any individual willpower. The comparison that makes abundance feel like scarcity. The identity that quietly sabotages every budget, every raise, every fresh start. Once you see these forces clearly, once you can name them, trace them, understand where they come from, something shifts. Not immediately, not dramatically, but genuinely. You stop reacting automatically. You stop spending to feel. You stop chasing a version of enough that was never really yours. And you start, slowly, steadily, one small decision at a time, building something real. Because the greatest financial advantage any person can have is not intelligence. It is not income. It is not even discipline. It is awareness. Awareness of the trap, awareness of the triggers, awareness of the story your brain has been telling about money since long before you ever earned your first dollar. That awareness, once it arrives, cannot be taken away. And it changes everything. If this video gave you something real today, a new way of seeing things, a moment of recognition, a question worth sitting with, please hit the like button. It genuinely helps this content reach more people who need it. Subscribe to Brain and Money for more content about psychology, money, and the hidden forces shaping the way we live and decide. Every week we go deeper. Every week we get more honest about what is actually driving our financial behavior and what we can actually do about it. Because understanding your mind may be the single most important step toward escaping the trap. I'll see you in the next one.